Hey guys, Type here bringing you a 2v2 today. We are on Belgorod. Playing today spawning on the right we have loaph, playing his US forces, who has recon support, heavy cavalry and armor. Teaming up with him is Wheezer playing as Soviets, who has shock motor heavy, NKVD rifle disruption and guard motor coordination. As offensive on the left we have SHIKO playing as OKW, who has breakthrough, overwatch and scavenge. Finally Ashraf playing as Ostheer, who has German infantry, mechanized assault and fortified armor. This one is a Patreon backer submitted game. Ranks here around 1000 for the allies versus around 1500 for the Axis arranged teams. Okay, so a double Sturmpio start. Into Volksgrenadiers after that. Generally, I'm not a huge fan of like double Sturmpio straight out of the gate. They do take a little bit longer to build. But they did get reduced a little bit a few patches back. But yeah, because they take longer to build, a bit slower getting out onto the map. Okay, so 2-on-1 against that Sturmpio. Retreating at a nice timing. Second squad coming in. Volksgrenadiers a little bit further behind. Chasing down this squad. Re-echelon coming into the mix. Sounds like a machine gun forced away some Soviet troops down the bottom. Sturmpios give up the chase. Squad gets behind the heavy cover. Volksgrenadiers still trying to come in. By the time that they get here, Sturmpio's already too weak. In fact, could get wiped now. Those riflemen did get down. Very low health, didn't drop any models. Can't happen using something like Sturmpios in the early game burst weapons. The habit of doing, you know, a lot of health damage spread across models instead of targeting one individual model down at a time. So yeah, loaph handling things quite easily up there, and you can see the whole time this fuel has not been connected for the Axis either. Just never secured that cutoff. So a bit of a nightmare start, honestly. We have a ambulance coming in for loaph, but has not started any officer tech yet. A little bit slow in that department. But yeah, if you're going to go for some Sturmpio builds, generally I think it's best if you go for them after 2 Volksgrenadiers. Probably after 3. That's what I've been working with recently. And even then I think it's more of a map specific thing. Maybe something you want to try if your build hinges on it. Maybe with coup wagons, 221. Firestorm flamethrower, something like that. Okay, more troops coming up for Ashraf from the bottom and completely overwhelming loaph. Want to get those early retreats. In this case, actually, use the ambulance, but going back into combat before they're fully healed. And that's a Soviet mortar from Wheezer. Getting forced back by this green blob, though. Conscripts coming in to assist in the fighting. Grenades into the building, but well dodged. Sturmpios try, but unsuccessful. Rifleman low in health, but still very high in model count, doing a lot of damage still. Now pulling back, but you can see allies conceding a lot of territory in the meantime. You have this squad of conscripts coming in for a big old flank. Behind the machine gun, but kind of outnumbered with the grenadiers there with the Pios. So can't even do that much damage to them, honestly. You just dodge out of the Molotov range. Sits back up. Rifle needs a plenty for Ashraf, which does mean that he's going to be lacking a bit for weapon upgrades. Looks like Loaph making a bit of a breakthrough in the north though, getting some territory going over there. So far though, the mortar hasn't been up to much. More rifle grenades coming through. Soft retreating back to the ambulance. Pathfinder's coming in. Ooh, squad down. There we go. Well, that was a big, a big one for the mortar. Pops a flare up as well.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
There we go. Gotta be careful, you know, try and take light cover when there's a piece of indirect fire lying around like that. And those greenies were actually, you know, quite low in health, even though they're reasonably high in model count. Be easy for that to happen. Tank trap position here for Loaph, going for the AA half track after the captain. And now we've got a machine gun coming in for SHIKO. Double Sternpires charging in. This could be a good spot for a concussive grenade. Sternpires forced away. So Pathfinders. We have a flank coming in from the riflemen though. Looks like all the OKW troops should get away alive. Bit of a chase down looking for these Sternpires, but they're staying afloat for the moment, and they get around the corner nicely. Rifleman, similar story, getting very low but getting away alive. And here comes a half track. Maybe a touch late, but reasonable timing. Did go for the ambulance beforehand, which is probably the reason why it is touch late. Max him out for Carl. We have German infantry locked in, looking for some upgrades as well as a squad of stormtroopers. A half track, and the Axis aren't really prepared for this at the moment. Battle group from SHIKO, so no Puma or anything to try counter this. Ashraf also doesn't even have tier 2 down yet. Pies have just retreated now. So Axis really have no answer to the A half track at all currently. Should be able to do a lot of damage in the meantime. Oh, he's got a bar on those Pathfinders. Start hitting pretty hard. It's starting to vet up now. Hitting vet 2 just then. Was that double bars? No, just the one. Better to put the bars on the Pathfinders from Recon support than from Airborne, since they only have one scope rifle. You're much less likely to drop the bars because of that.
Point secure. Keep alert. Germans might probe the area to see if we're still here.
Team, ready.
To a really long line of sight on those, they'll see that machine gun, be able to dodge away from it quite easily because of that. Let's jump back in there. Ooh, Shrek connecting on the ambo. Still alive. And yeah, double Shrek, so it's going to be the answer for SHIKO to the half track. Generally, handheld anti-tank, not very good against these like vehicles that suppress. Quad they half track, flak half track. Just because they'll obviously suppress you. Usually outrange you as well. Except for this is maybe like PTRSs are decent. Since they have long range. Good, very, very good accuracy. But yeah, they'll suppress you, so you can't even really get close to use these Sternpires. See how they get on though. Quite conservative with the A half track utilization so far. Definitely could have been doing a bit more damage than this. And a rather late 222 as the answer for Ashraf, also building an anti-tank gun. Getting to work. Rough nade in. Good damage.
Gun has arrived.
Still going to be able to hold its position though. And here comes the mortar. Tier 3 down for Carl. A little bit of manpower away from that T70, but very, very close to it. He's fielded himself as this in the meantime, heading down in this direction, looking for that 222. Looks like a airdrop combat group. Indeed. Got the paratroopers out. Going out in the open though. And force back quite a bit. Still machine guns making life tough for Loaph. Half track coming back in, but here comes the Recon looking for its first touch. Not quite in range. Slight reposition on the machine gun. Still looks like it could get hit by some AoE damage. On the pack owie though. Oh, Rifleman with a nice flank, forcing away one of the machine guns. The third machine gun picked up the SHIKO. But this is a pretty good setup for Loaph to counter that. Has the pack howitzer with the forward ambulance. It's the pathfinders to spot the machine guns from long range. So should be able to counter them quite effectively. Pack owie even pushing quite far forward, so I would recommend reinforcing it if you want to do this. It's, you know, if it just drops one model from that amount, which looks like it's already a little bit low in health, will get decrewed. Not expensive to recrew it again.
Capture point is being overrun.
About time. System upgrade.
Okay.
Points are down to 300.
Thompson's on the paratroopers. Second machine gun. Oh, that's a stolen Maxim, in fact, for Ashraf. I didn't notice that. So there's one down here. Decrewed. Smoke out onto this machine gun. Conscripts eyeing forwards. Short troops a little bit further back. Become double sternpires though. Might be in a good position to counter those.
Our industry grows to support us.
No, short troops are going. Okay, here they go. Turning around now. Has left the support weapons a little bit exposed though. Now shot troops to fight a bit of a 3-on-1. Grenade out. And to save the conscripts, but unable to. Sternpires do finish the job. Unfortunate for Carl Wheezer. And don't go for a half-track quad, in fact. This is a very, very late timing for that, though. So the time has passed. Keep connecting once. A half-track skates out of there just in the nick of time. And we've got some paratroopers trying to get a bit of a flank going. If they do get onto the rear, they will be devastating, especially teamed up with those pathfinders, the paratroopers. Just making a push. A half-track jumps back in, takes a shot, backing away quickly. And a pretty good disengage overall from Loaph. Could have gone quite badly sideways there, but now that the cache is under threat. Paratroopers forcing away 2 machine guns, but there's a third one back there. They managed to avoid the suppression though for the moment. Paratroopers all wiped that squad on retreat, now going for the pack. Grenade out onto the grenadiers. Those are the 5-man grenadiers though, they're pretty beefy. Don't drop any moles to the grenade, must have been well spaced. And now making use of those free medkits.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Molotov onto the machine gun. Quad coming down to the bottom.
Has destroyed an anti-tank gun.
Okay, so things stabilizing now.
Waiting order. Standing by.
Does make me worry a little bit about the allies having gone for double light vehicles like this, and seems like they've struggled a bit for territory control over the last few minutes. So the Axis should hit their medium tanks first. Could cause some issues for them.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Okay, we're going to work on the Shreya. So it's probably like your lowest priority target. Maybe once you hit Vet 1 and you can start using the heat shells. That's when barraging the Shreya's decent, but at this stage not terribly worthwhile. There's some pressure now as well. Take around the machine gun. This one going. This one not going to last much longer either. Got a shoe mine down though. Maybe that can help things out. Look how he's still alive. Didn't quite get decrewed. Cinder grenade into the building. Easy dodge. And SHIKO has to give up on that push. Quite coming down to inflict a bit more hurt. Not enough though to get the wipe.
Target captured. Warning orders. Ready that Browning.
I find it's a trick of the mine. He's trying to use them in a camouflage recon role. There's another mine there though. Ooh. Ooh, okay, still alive. And yeah, I was talking about the fast medium tanks. Here we go, one out for Ashraf. Carl does have that anti-tank gun around somewhere. Here it comes. And a couple conscripts for the snares. Jumps out of the light cover, doesn't want to get one shot by the Panzer IV. And one shot connecting. Missed opportunity maybe for Ura anti-tank grenades to slow down the Panzer IV further. Smoke grenade from the Stormtroopers covering the Zis, but oh boy, Stormtroopers are dropping really fast. Big burst from the quad, and those are Vet 3 conscripts. Getting quite a lot of damage done. They just needed one more shot and they would have got the kill there. There's troops coming through the centre now. Support paratroopers, planting some mines. One of the nice benefits of utilising those. Nice use of on me as well, getting around the side of that machine gun. And gets the engine damage. Going to slow down that Panzer IV a bit more. It does have the piles right there for the repairs, but every little bit helps. Here comes the Zis. Quad has to be on its toes against that pack, looking for it. Reveals itself. Just returns fire. Planes coming through. Pretty good damage too, getting everything here extremely low. Maybe the shock troops can come and finish this stuff off. The mortar, got the Zis barrage coming in. Machine gun on the move now. Shock troops can make their move. But yeah, some good utilization of the Sturmovik strafing run. Here we got 2 team weapon wipes. SHIKO trying to make a bit of a play through the centre, not having much success. Facing Volksgrenadiers with some Obersoldate now. Has been making up for the fact that he's low on snares by plenty few mines. Does have those Shreks as well, which can help out. Oh boy, the Stormtroopers, look at them shred, even the shock troops. Just hanging in there. There they are, lethal when they activate that tactical advance. Second Panzer IV out for Ashraf already. Wow, that's a lot of armor. We do have a Jackson out now though for loaph. SHIKO with a lot of resources. It's gone for a triple tech truck, so it looks like a straight King Tiger stall and isn't too far away from that yet either.
We can deploy 105mm artillery barrages at your convenience.
There we go, S285 connecting with one of the Panzer IVs. Twice, in fact. Some Scavenge artillery in the north.
Close air support is available.
Coming back into the frame. Ooh, big rifle made damage. Bit of strafe action there though as well. Okay, one machine gun decruit. Fortunately it is on hand though. Could jump back on top of it. The white phosphorus from the pack outs are coming down. Panzer IV maybe going to look for a bit of a wraparound. Flanking the S285 could be pretty strong. That's where a nice timing with that quad. Shock troops don't hit much with that grenade. S285 coming forwards again. Pack setting up on them. Grenadiers go down to the shock troops. Second Panzer IV on the flank coming into the scene. Looking for the kill on the Panzer IV. This is back there. Not going to be able to kill this Panzer IV, and neither with this one. Backs away in the nick of time, finishing off the quad. Wheezer getting overwhelmed just then. This was in a reasonable position, but not quite enough. Didn't have any conscripts with the snares nearby. I think that was the ultimate issue for him. So well done there from Ashraf. You know, that play with the Panzer IV coming around the bottom, really working out. Traction grenades out, dodging forwards. That was the right choice.
Heavy machine gun team prepared for combat. We are losing territory.
Speak of a lot of team mine coming down for these rear echelon. So the paratroopers mine got detonated at some stage. Alright, here comes the big boy, the King Tiger on the field for SHIKO. Looks like he might have put a hold on some of his reinforcing until he hit that King Tiger timing. Do have one Jackson already, as well as an anti-tank gun for loaph, so guys are reasonably well positioned to answer the King Tiger. Especially if he manages to get down a couple mines with the paratroopers. Jackson currently on the wrong angle to really get much going. There's an anti-tank gun though. And this is a strong position. You know, oftentimes it can be hard for US forces against the King Tiger. It can do a lot of bleed against you. Oh, he's making a move. Sherman coming in. So is the Jackson. Bit of blocking. Oh, yeah, he does block it nicely. You got the bazookas there as well. King Tiger getting completely overwhelmed. Here come the Shreks now, but it looks like it's too late. The M1 was still in range. Mine triggering. Might lose a Sherman or Jackson for the trouble. Here comes the Panzer IVs from the bottom. In fact, could lose both of them now. Will lose both of them. Alright, salvage with a bit of teamwork. A little bit unfortunate for loaph that he hit that mine, otherwise probably would have got away. But here we go. Yeah, SHIKO, no support for that King Tiger at all, you know. Left himself wide open for that kind of play. He got punished hard for it. Ends up being a pretty even trade though. In the end. Oh boy, Panzer IV's getting the wipe on those conscripts. Rebuild immediately from Karl. S35 needs to come around from this angle. Probably could have finished off one of those Panzer IVs. This is a shot blocker, so no attack round action though from Karl anyway. Oh, there's this coming in from the side. Get 2 as well. Taking a look at the VPs, the allies are down by around 200 at this stage. So there has to be on their minds. Can't leave their defenses down for too long. But the good news for Loaph is, you know, he can just build a Sherman quite quickly after losing all his tanks. Whereas if SHIKO wants to go for another King Tiger, that's still an extremely long time away. But yeah, very good usage of the flares so far from Karl, just constantly using them. They are very, very handy as Soviets. Especially if you're up against double machine guns, as he has been most of this game. Whether those be, you know, his own decrude Maxims or MG42s. Stormtroopers getting the tactical advance going. Got double Sturm Pioneers coming in as well with the Shreks. And they scat round the side. No, they get AoE suppressed. Good news for the S-35. Here comes the Sherman now. Go for a bit of crush action. I think he was on armor piercing though, so the main gun's not going to be super good here. Tactical advance though, back the other way from the paratroopers. I believe with paratroopers their tactical advance may be slightly different, I think. I believe they get like a burst length modifier where the burst lengths are much longer when they're firing on the move. So I think this is one of the rare times that you actually want to be chasing and moving, is when you have that ability active as use forces with your paratroopers. Because yeah, increase your burst length so you do more DPS. You do miss out, you know. You have some moving penalties as well, but it makes up for it. There's 4 coming in. Double Panzer IVs now. Triple for Ashraf overall. The US player though has the numbers, overwhelming, pushing him with the rear echelon, looking for some bazooka shots, but the flak base chipping in. Tank gun coming up for Loaph now. Scavenge already in the north. Not entirely sure what that's hitting though. Panzer IV's applying some good bleed though. And tank gun having trouble finding angle with all these shot blockers around. Sets up though, expecting the Panzer IVs to push. Must be just out of range. And wow, continuing to get those good hits. Oh, no time to retreat with this Panzer IV, getting away from the Zis. And the Allies have been very consistent with their VP control so far, draining out almost none. Axis losing around 100. Making a bit of a play for the south though now. doing its best. Probably going to be able to suppress them before they get the cap off, but there's some light cover down there. Oh boy, that was some nasty damage from those Obers. How quickly did that Pathfinder go down? That was crazy. Panzer IV coming in now. The Sherman's in some trouble. Anti-tank gun setting up. Panzer IV misses. Sherman's still on high explosive though. So there it goes. Panzer IV though doesn't finish it. Okay, there we go. Gets rid of it once and for all. Well timed attack there for Ashraf. Nice use of the blitz. ISU-152 down the bottom now for Wheezer. We were saving up for that. Finally hit the battlefield, and you know, combo that up with his flare usage on the mortar. That will be a really nice way to get rid of these team weapons from the bottom. Gotta make sure he doesn't get overwhelmed though, like SHIKO did. His heavy tank. Looks like SHIKO might even be saving for the King Tiger again. Doesn't have another tank yet. D4's in the north. Getting some work done. Sure, loaph, okay, working on the Jackson. Hasn't quite hit the field yet though. That's a full steady performance. This one hitting bit 2 now.
We have 300 points remaining.
He hasn't seen any action so far. Good shot in there from the Jackson. Here we go, 152 opens things up. Smoke out from the stormtroopers. With 2 conscripts standing right there. I don't think they're going to be able to get the decap. Molotov into the smoke, working out nicely for the conscripts. Continuing to drain from the Axis. Stormtroopers are camoed in here. There they go now, revealed. Nice U spins around. They're very low, but they are still alive. No, the allies hang in there. 152 getting some good damage done. Could be the end of... Yep, there they go. Fox Grenadier down. Another Ober squad from SHIKO. And yet another one in the works. This one freshly produced. Doesn't have the munitions for the LMG on the one that's about to pop out though. And going for the second squad of Ober is probably going to slow him down if he wants to go for that King Tiger again. Got quite a lot of reinforcing to do, and just about at the fuel for the King Tiger now. Those are expensive squads to reinforce too, Sturmpies and Obers. But yeah, I'd say with basically any strategy that 3 Obers would probably be the limit of sense. Okay, jumps back into the Jackson before the Obers get in there, catching a repairing squad. Could have been devastating. Oh! Okay, well, there goes one Ober. Cannot afford to run around on low health in front of that ISU. Oh man! Panzer IV. For some revenge for his teammate, nearly taking down the paratroopers. Jackson getting some decent hits in. Oh, but there's a mine there. This could be a bit of a bait. Do you have an anti-tank gun at a decent angle if the Panzer IVs do decide to chase though? This Panzer IV going in with the blitz now. Do you have 2 riflemen there? Anti-tank gun all packed up at just the wrong time. Panzer IV coming through. Second Panzer IV. Okay, looks like he's going to try to disengage now. That's going to be the end of that Panzer IV. Or maybe it's not, because he bounced the anti-tank grenades and then bounced the M1 shot and then missed the Jackson shot as well. Do remember that riflemen have it worst off when it comes to bouncing snares like that. Whereas conscripts, you know, if they hit the tank down to 0 health, the next one guaranteed kills. Not the case with riflemen. They can continue to bounce off a 0 health tank and not get the kill with the anti-tank grenades. Well, that was extremely lucky for Ashraf, has to be said. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting this, but SHIKO going for a Panther. Getting that a little bit later, I suppose. Second Jackson coming in for Loaph. Axis don't really have many good commander options to deal with the ISU. Don't have any planes. Boost damage, don't have like heat shells, anything like that. So ISU gonna be an issue for them. Do have a lot of tanks though. Is that 4 Panzer IVs? It is now for Ashraf. Power to him, man. That's very hard to control that many tanks. Looks like he's struggling to keep them repaired at the moment. Could squeeze one more PIO into his pop cap. Maybe even upgrade to the 5th man as well. Okay, big ISU 152 connection. If there wasn't any infantry there for the follow-up, could have, you know, backed away, applied that free med kit, and tried to come back in. Switching over to armor piercing, big shot onto the Panzer IV. Is this wheeling its way for us? Before it gets out of range in the nick of time. Popping the blitz, I think that was worthwhile. Oh, but he's coming back in. ISU's also pushed forwards. And there goes the Panzer IV. Oh, Ashraf, he's been playing pretty well so far, but that was a big mistake. Donating that Panzer IV, really. Okay, looks like maybe he's gonna get his tanks together, maybe go for a bit of a push on this ISU. There are a few mines down though for Carl, so this kind of swarming medium tank plays could backfire if those mines get triggered. Do have those double Jacksons up in the north for Loaph now as well. Okay, well, there goes one mine. Oh, and there go the stormtroopers. Another nasty wipe from the ISU. So even though it's only got 14 kills, you know, it's 2 squad wipes, stormtroopers, obers, and Panzer IV kill. Doing very well so far. Molotov out. Conscripts though. Don't have much of a chance against the vetted up Grenadiers. He is though. Oh, here we go. They're making the move on the ISU. Panther leading the charge. Quad Panzer IVs coming in from the bottom. Got the Zist there. Can't quite get any damage done. This Panther though, not on prioritized vehicles. Could be an issue. SU-85 could be the first target. Here come the Jacksons from the north. Here goes the SU-85, Panther with engine damage. Panzer IV was still looking for the ISU kill. Jackson's coming in, hoping to get something going, but the anti-tank gun goes down. One Panzer IV down. Continuing on their path, there goes the ISU. Panzer IVs continue their attention over to the Jackson now, 3-on-1. Engine damage on one of them from the conscript. Panzer IV's finishing off the Jackson as well. What happened to the second Jackson? Not entirely sure, but it's not here, so big all-in tank play from the Axis. And it claims the scalps. Both Jacksons down. East Ready 5, ISU 152.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
Bit of trouble trying to extract himself from the Soviet base, but playing a good amount of bleed as he does that. That's all this Soviet infantry. Here comes the ZIS now. Can that clean up a couple of these Panzer IVs? Here goes one. This Panzer IV doesn't have the machine gun upgrade, so I'm not going to decrew the ZIS super quickly. Oh, here come the bazookas now. Even this Panzer IV has to, okay, watch itself. Looks like all of these Panzer IVs are going to go down. There's good awareness from Loaph. I think he was initially targeting this Panzer IV with the anti-tank grenade, switched over to the healthy one, which was not healthy after a couple bazooka shots. And because of that, manages to take down both of the Panzer IVs. One instantly in the rebuild for Ashraf, has quite a lot of manpower floating as well. SHIKO though, where's his infantry gone? There's a whole bunch of corpses down the center. They look like OKW uniforms too. He's got almost nothing. So I mean, that looked like a triumphant push for the Allies, but from the Axis, but as they're trying to extract those Panzer IVs with the damaged engine, they lost almost everything. Fresh Sherman out for Loaph, who still has a reasonable army size, largest of any player now. Oh, MG34 on the ground. That's where one over went down. In fact, double MG34s on the ground. So that's the answer to where a couple of those overs disappeared to. Sherman coming down to the bottom. Panther is still alive though for SHIKO. And connecting on the Sherman now. Triple cap against the Axis. Panther, gotta be careful it doesn't bite off more than he could chew. It's a good time for smoke maybe from the Sherman. Try to cover his retreat. Oh, Panther going in for the kill, but hits the mine. Double anti-tank guns right there. Here come the bazookas. Overcommit by the Panther. And gets punished hard for the trouble. Ooh, an MG34 is picked up by the Pathfinders now. They are going to be ultra lethal with that setup. Oh, SHIKO just about there for another tank. Ashraf still with a good amount of manpower in reserve too. But it looks like the Axis are going to throw in the towel. Wow. Oh man. Yeah, well, I guess their spirit was broken after that. It was a good push overall. But yeah, as they tried to back their way out, losing both Panzer IVs, that was backbreaking. Then the Panther going down over here. The mines perhaps winning the game there for the Allies. GG. Well, anyway, guys, we'll wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.